You are listening to the one and only, the hottest podcast show on the planet. It's okay, Law. Over to you, John, Kenny, and Eugene.
You look a little bit like you're in a noise. I think the camera is trying to compensate a lot in terms of like the light.
I think it's me, Eugene, not you. Is it?
No, I know. I'm just trying to see. I think like this is okay.
But that's okay, it's an audio podcast. People listen more than seeing us. Not that they want to see us, really. What you guys been up to, man?
Studying.
For your second exam?
Yeah, the second exam.
Like forever,
Have you started already?
Yeah. I pressed the button. Wow. I mean, we can start again if you
So
want.
we don't do the introduction, or we don't like hey, whatever. We just let that it's okay lah play, and then we just jump into whatever
It's okay what?
topic
Yeah.
goes. Oh, it's okay what? Okay. It's okay lah, it's okay what? Alright.
I mean, it's just natural. You just play the intro and then after that, start talking. The characters are the same. You have me, John, you have Kenny, the other side, and then you have Eugene. It's always three of us in this episode, unless, of course, like, if you got a guest and something,
Yeah,
We have to make the show workable for new audience, that they don't have to have watched the previous shows to know what's happening. Okay, well, introduction.
The more time spent on introduction, the more time
That's true.
they press the skip forward button.
We've all
that's
done that.
true.
We've all done that. Yes.
Yeah, because if you were to do this like every weekly, they are the same people, so it should be fine, I think. That's at least what I think. Yeah, unless you guys want to do introduction.
Oh, I think no need.
You can try that again.
You are listening to the one and only, the hottest podcast show on the planet. It's okay, Law. Over to you, John, Kenny, and Eugene.
Yo, what's up? It's John here. And then over to you, John, Kenny, and you. We are repeating ourselves, you see.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still getting used to this, so it's okay. I moved the microphone closer, so hopefully the sound is better.
Yeah, it's good.
I've got what I think is the TRS
Okay.
earphones, and I think I can hear myself, and there should be no more need for noise cancellation at your end, John.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
don't hear any echo.
What earphones are those that you're using?
It's some cheaper earphones that I got from like those dollar shop type.
Okay.
Yeah,
How much you pay for
So-
it?
ringgit,
Yeah.
$1 with some change. Yeah. So it's like yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
What's the exchange rate now? Is it 1 to 5?
No, like it's still below 5, but effectively, might as well just say it's $1 lah. Sounds better that way.
Oh, okay.
So,
So how are you feeling, John?
It's
Tired?
mostly tired right now. I guess whenever I don't feel very well, so for you guys listener out there, I'm down with COVID. So whenever I don't really feel that great, so I just head to the bed and just try to sleep it off, really. And when I sleep, it feels tired, so you sleep some more, and then you wake up, hey, you feel okay, that kind of thing. So it's like in and out lah. It's just maybe
How many hours of sleep have you gotten today?
today, the whole entire evening mostly. In the afternoon, here and there, not so much because I was doing editing and recording as well.
Right.
Carrying on from yesterday one. So I released a YouTube video today earlier. I scheduled it to go online at 9 p.m. So there is a little bit of work that I wanted to get out on my way before I actually crash and burn. Managed to watch an episode of Ted Lasso before
Season
crashing.
4.
Yeah, the
Season 4,
latest
yeah.
one. It's pretty
okay.
good, It's like
hey, hang on, season 3 or season 4? 3
season
or 4?
3.
3, okay, yeah.
Can't be 4.
I like that show because of the thematic way of them making it happy, go jolly, lucky kind of thing with a lot of emotional baggages that they address at the same time. Very positive addressing it, like, always look at the brighter side. Like this particular episode, I noticed the way they shoot it is like Richmond, how when you wake up, it's like bright sunny day, you open the shop, the morning glory, that kind of feeling. So the whole entire episode was shot that way, so I thought it was fun. It was very nice of them.
Okay.
Ted Lasso, only on Apple TV. Yeah.
It's probably the kind of weather is probably not very accurate for like UK weather. UK weather, I think it's like mostly gloomy and dark,
foggy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
I
get it.
oversold a bit lah. Maybe not sunny or whatsoever, but it's that waking up to a freshly opened coffee shop, that kind of feeling. They pull out, those bumbong. They have those French bumbong things.
Which
So
they put the freshly
awning.
baked bread and the cake, and then the smell goes out.
So you have
to the
like this
neighbours.
fella in apron there taking a stick and then opening up the awning. It's like it's a show of the shop being open. Very positive.
A brand new
vibe.
day.
Yeah, brand new day, that kind of feeling. And then they address a lot of things that's not going well in Richmond and everything. I almost say Wrexham, but yeah, Richmond.
Wrexham.
I'm the only one that follows football among you guys over here.
Yeah.
So
That
we are
is true.
almost at the end of the season already, and for Wrexham, we got to know Wrexham because of Ryan Reynolds and that Rob. How do you sing that
there's
song?
a whole Twitter about how to pronounce the name.
He has a
the
song.
E without the S or something like that.
Who's the other guy again?
Echner?
No,
Echner.
it's longer than that. It's 3 syllables one. No, 4 syllables. I can't remember.
I can play
Rob.
the song now and find out.
He is in Apple TV as well. In Mythic Quest.
Is he?
Yeah, that's
The same guy, yeah?
Yes,
Oh.
that's the same dude.
He's not a footballer, is it?
He's not. He's a
They're both not
celebrity.
footballers.
He's a TV celebrity
TV
versus,
star lah.
versus Hollywood. What? That's the catchphrase for season 1 when they got into Wrexham. What? One small time TV celebrity and a Hollywood superstar came and bought over Wrexham.
Hang on, so you said the season is just about to end, or did you mean the football, that particular National League season,
football,
right? Or the
football
show?
overall.
Right.
No, not the show. Wrexham, the second season is not out yet. Even I don't think it was out. So the football seasons is ending. Like Wrexham's league, that one is wrap up already. So EPL is just a couple more games until like middle of May, before I think everything wraps up. And by June, FA Cup will finish. I think June finishing already. Like tonight, there is a really big match between Manchester City versus Arsenal, the top two team in the English Premier League. So what it is like whoever wins tonight's match are the favorite to win the whole entire league. So that's how
EPL,
close.
right? This EPL,
Yeah, this is
right?
EPL. So
Okay.
this is how close the results are in EPL for now, for this particular time. Yeah. So that's football for you.
Well, it's worth noting that while I have never followed football at all, at least like in my entire existence, same goes for F1. But interestingly enough, just simply from watching the current, well, not current, it's already 5 seasons now, and the new one's coming out soon, the documentary on Netflix called Formula One Drive to Survive, that has got me to almost jump on the whole F1 train. And who's to say that watching, I almost say Wrexham, welcome to Wrexham, wouldn't put me somewhere closer towards that on
Watching football.
for the case of football. Or even though I'm happy to claim the fact that the only football game I ever watched in the past 10 years is the best match ever in the case of the World Cup finals.
You got lucky, that one. That was really,
Very,
really
very
interesting.
lucky. It was.
Yeah, me too. I've never watched highlights of it and that. I was like, oh, this game's quite interesting actually.
Did you watch it as well? Did you also watch it as well?
I did.
Live? Nice. Oh yeah. You did, yeah.
No, I did watch it, but I watched like the first...
Not the whole thing,
the first half an hour. Then I was like, I knew it. Just like all other football games, it's kind of boring.
When Argentina had 2 and then before the second half, right?
Whoa,
I think Eugene
really,
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eugene, you froze.
Eugene's video froze for a while, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Am I
you're
back?
back.
Yep.
So here's the
I don't know
deal.
what happened.
Here's the deal, right? I know Kenny, you are avid bowler growing up, together in school and everything. So
Speak
you
for
understand the game.
yourself. Speak for yourself. You were never there.
Yeah. Well, you were the better one, and then you got into more accolades and actually continued more. But you cared about the sports, right? You care simply because you know every nitty gritty about that sport. You understand how it works. You understand the style. You understand the ball. You understand the pin and how to hit it and all those things. So the more you are invested in the sports, the more interesting the sports become, because you understand the nuances of what isn't showing in front of you, because you understand strategy. Strategy in the sports you cannot see one. Right? Mostly like, unless you play out and it's very obvious, right? But you understand, that thing is coming, and then that's why they are doing like that, and therefore it performed that way, then you understand. So it becomes, sports is like that when you watch sports. The more you are invested in the sport, the more you understand about the sports. In Formula One, you care about the team. You care about, suddenly you understand, that's why they got demoted 10 places, because they need to change the engine. But why do they need to change the engine at this time? Is it better to change now, or to change maybe like 2 races down the road, that kind of thing? So there's a lot of things that play out. And if you understand the nuances of, say, all these things, you become invested in sports. Because frankly speaking, July is coming. That's where Tour de France will be happening. All right, you're talking about 40 kilometer an hour cyclists, right? And there's like 100.
So fast.
40 kilometers. That's actually very fast,
Damn fast.
100
Okay.
100 of participants, top cyclists in the world, cycling 4-5 hours every single day for 28 days, non-stop. And you're talking about at least 4-5 hours, And unlike Formula One, right? You go, fast, cut, this Tour de France, really, you see their backside only is cycling, nothing interesting one. If you don't know the sport, it's nothing interesting one. But when you know the character, when you know the strategy being applied, why is this bunch of people in front of the pack right now? Versus, hey, the winner is actually behind. Why? That kind of stuff. You understand all these things, you become very, very invested, and it becomes very, very interesting. And I've seen this. My mates, the wife got into watching Tour de France, and it was like, very exciting. I clap my hands, bravo, because they understand, you see. It can be really, really interesting when it comes to sports, and when you start to understand the nuances of things.
So with that, considering my pattern of how I latch onto a particular sport in the past 3 weeks, is there a documentary series about Tour de France on Netflix? There is something, right? About Lance or something. Well, Lance is about the whole fiasco, right? It's about Lance and his story. But
I think there were few.
Another.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I came across some, but I didn't watch it proper.
But that's
it was all
very
you guys
interesting by
talking about
itself also. And it's like, you understand the sport, and then after that, the doping comes into place, right? Crazy. The transfusion, the blood transfusion and everything that happens in races, like in between races, and they change out their blood to put in fresh.
So hard.
Yeah. So
crazy stuff, man.
cheating is also very difficult in Tour de France. So that's interesting how they do it. So you got to watch that as well. So after watching Drive to Survive, usually what happens is that the new season comes in at the tail end of the season, or rather the beginning of the season.
It's very fast. November finished, then they have a show for the new season ready in
by February. Because the first race,
February, March.
Yeah, the first race in March.
So talking about like the 4 months that they have, like the when there's no races, that's when Netflix,
No, like
pushes the
lah.
production
They're probably already producing
Yeah,
it from
they
the very
produce-
prior, and then
bit by bit,
But
so
just
splice it all together at the end.
yeah, but that's pretty good. I mean, like that's the routine that they follow, which I think makes sense because otherwise you got brand new season, and then you'll be like caught too far behind. So
Yeah, so
How
like
many races are there in the Formula One season now?
20 something.
20
No,
something already. Wow.
Isn't it?
it's gonna
Last
be
time-
quite a bit, a lot.
Last time they used to be like 17.
I was just browsing the schedule from the
Last
F1 schedule website. It's like every other weekend or every other 2 weeks, there's like one. So you add it all together. If it's not every week, it's half the year also already, like, you know,
Yeah.
20 something already.
So last time they used to be, if I'm not mistaken, were 17, and then they would take a bit of a break on the weeks when they've got to move
Christmas or
continents.
yeah.
Like say,
Yes, okay.
They'll hit everything, not everything, like they'll hit like Malaysia, hit like Melbourne, and then, last
Yeah,
time Malaysia,
Melbourne
last
not
time
always the
Malaysia.
start, man.
No,
Of
it's not Melbourne
I
starting
think
already.
last time
Saudi
it was always
Arabia.
the start, but now I
It
don't know.
used to be and now not anymore. Because
Yeah.
I noticed like this time around, it didn't feel like Melbourne was the earliest.
Where
Like
is
this
the
year,
start? Where was the start this year?
Bahrain?
Yeah,
Bahrain?
I think it's
Bahrain,
Bahrain.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Bahrain, but
When I was watching last time, there were no Middle East races.
now there's Abu Dhabi and
Yeah, it was
Bahrain and
Yeah, there was a bunch of it in like last time there was only a whole lot in Europe, then one in Canada, then maybe one in US, and a couple in Asia. So,
This
but it was
weekend
not-
one is Azerbaijan.
Wow.
Yep.
And I believe Azerbaijan's Grand Prix is they even have sprint qualifying right now.
what was that?
What's
In that? Baku.
Enlighten me.
Okay, so
Yeah, I saw that at Baku also. Yeah,
so Baku is the race
track
lah,
right?
Baku,
Okay.
or rather Baku city. You know that it's like
What they call the track
KL,
Baku lah.
Sepang.
Yeah,
Sepang.
they call the track Baku lah. Yeah, correct.
right? So, you know, in traditional qualifying is Saturday, where all these 20 cars go on the grid. The first 10 minutes will determine the last 10 cars, and then
Oh.
And then the last
Was
five.
it
No,
10
they
cars?
remove five.
so
Remove five.
you got Q1, Q2, Q3 basically. I
Yep.
can't. I cannot remember for the life of me how many.
They remove five every queue until the last 10 in
Yeah,
Q3.
so that's how qualifying works until Q3,
So different.
where the top 10 people will be placed into the grid lah, right? So you go out at least the very minimum three times lah, but obviously a lot more time if you want to qualify.
And you want to have right three times because that means you're in the top 10 qualifiers lah. So you want that lah. You don't want to be out, within the first or second qualifiers.
Okay, wow.
So the
Okay,
Q1 will determine the last 15 of
Yes, 15
the,
and 10.
the last the 15 to 20th placing, and then Q2 will be 11 to 15 placing. Q3 will have 1 to 10. So then you see where you slot.
Okay.
So what's so
That means
special about
everybody has a go during Q1,
at least
and
Q1?
then the obvious ones who cannot make it will remain
Be out of Q2.
in top 10, is it? You say?
Top 15 for
top
Q2
15.
and then top 10 for
So,
Q3.
Okay.
so
So-
if you
so
cannot qualify beyond 15, right? So Q2 you don't
stay-
participate
you
already.
don't take part lah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
I get
you
it.
are in P20 to P15, 16.
So this is
P15, 16. Yeah.
F101 Formula
And
1.
how long has it been in this format?
Few
have no
years.
idea.
Oh no, it's been for a while.
Right.
Like since I think at the end of the beginning of Hamilton's reign already started.
2012?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
quite a while already. This formula, but
Right.
the sprint weekend basically involved on Friday. The sprint weekend will take. I'm not sure how they line them up on grid. Is it from practice?
From practice?
Yeah, I have totally no
Practice-
idea how the sprinting
The
works. I
practice
mean,
doesn't usually has no bearing on like how your
Yeah, but
qualifying will be, right?
because sprint is a 20 lap no pit stop kind of race
Okay.
where
Endurance?
it determines your position in the grid lah.
you're making me want to look up
So it becomes
WTF1.
qualifying. It becomes qualifying effectively.
No, qualifying. I mean, qualifying, everybody runs their lap and then.
Oh no,
Do
okay.
best time.
Sorry. This is how it is. On Friday, instead of qualifying Q1, Q2, Q3 on Saturday, Q1, Q2, Q3 qualifying is on Friday.
And
Okay.
then
Okay.
So what
Okay.
that grid position will be your sprint starting position.
Okay.
Okay, your sprint basically the sprint and the race is different. It's half the distance. I believe there is no need of a pit stop, no change of tires requirement and everything. You get points from sprint, and whatever position that you finish during the sprint will be your actual Grand Prix starting grid.
Oh my goodness, so much driving.
Yeah. So a sprint
much
weekend is like
driving.
that.
Wow.
So you have additional points rewarded for sprint. That I believe is like 10 points or something. Yeah.
so qualifiers determines the sprint position, and
Yeah.
then sprint
Position.
results determines the race
The race grid.
position.
Yeah. The starting race grid.
And this is only done in at least for Baku for now. Did they do it in every or any other Grand Prix?
I believe in the whole entire calendar, there's like 3 to 4 of these sprint events. And I
Okay.
believe Baku is one of it.
Is this just trying to like change things out a little bit, or is there a reason behind having a sprint in select
I
GPs?
guess so. It's just changing things up, and then more points rewarded. So
Okay,
if
like
to
dynamics
maximize
of the race overall is more interesting. Like how long have they had this sprint? Because if I may have missed it, but I've not seen any mention about sprint events in the so far up to season 3 halfway of the show.
That's funny
Fairly
because no, it's not fairly new. It's been since Drive to Survive. There has always been sprint already.
Okay. Maybe I missed it, or maybe they don't cover it. Because I mean, again, maybe because I'm new, when I watch it, all I see is the practice and the qualifiers, and of course the race itself, and then all the other drama going in between. I may have missed out on if they ever featured a sprint, but okay, at least now I'm aware, and then I will look out for it after googling it.
So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of a Saturday, Sunday event. And no longer nowadays starts in Melbourne. I think the first season of Drive to Survive was starting in Melbourne.
Yes,
And-
it felt that way. Yes,
And also the second season of Drive to Survive, where the COVID happens, also start in
Third-
Melbourne.
third season also start Melbourne and then cancel. That's the one that I'm watching now.
Wow, I'm coughing like crazy. You guys couldn't hear the cough, right? Because I muted.
Nope. Okay.
We didn't hear it.
So you felt the cough coming, and then you had to reach for the button just in time
Wow,
before the cough.
The button is like literally
Nice big
just
button. Nice big button there.
Yeah, but you have to control your esophagus and your
Just-
reaction, and then the finger at the same time.
see my fingers over here, just here. So it's just next to me.
Yeah.
Muscle memory already.
No lah. So yeah. So that's F1. Yeah, so
Segment?
you
New
get
segment.
you get new race to watch. I guess if you watch the race right now, right, it's sort of like spoil the whole entire Drive to Survive because you haven't caught up to the latest season yet. So suddenly you see, hey, how come he is here in this team?
Yeah. No, I mean, even now when I just look up some information regarding some of the players and the teams and trying to understand more about things which may not even be important, like even the history of the teams and the sponsorships. Even there also, when I read it up and then look and say, okay, now these teams now are who and who are the drivers. That already kind of spoils some details because the whole driver, what do you call it? The driver swap or whatever, switch. That is also part of the whole drama. Musical, yeah, because chess. That's also part of the drama of at least for the later half of the season, lah. So I already know who goes to where eventually. So I think that's to be expected, lah.
The last season's one, the driver swap is kind of ugly. So that's also big drama. I think it's also portrayed pretty much in Drive to Survive last season. So in a way, if
What happened? You're going to spoil it. I mean, I'm not sure. You won't. I don't really care, lah. But if you
Go ahead,
you're gonna
go
spoil
ahead.
it for like Kenny, if you say it.
So
happens?
literally, like there are new F1 comers, And I believe it's because like somebody got COVID, over the race weekend, so they cannot run.
Race.
So their backup drivers come into play. Lah.
Okay.
And did
So
well.
these backup drivers are like the young fellas that Formula
F2 champions,
champions
or whatever. Yeah.
Waiting for a chance.
waiting
to,
for
like,
a chance, right? And
sitting on
then
like the bench, right?
and then it was said that this guy is like so fast, so good, and the actual driver didn't even win points, and he came in and then got some points for the team, right? So he is the next protege to be F1 and everything, right?
Right.
It's not necessarily that team that is interested, but there are teams that want to get rid of certain drivers. And then they say like, I secured his service already. I secured that driver's service already. But then the driver said, no, you didn't talk to me. I didn't sign anything. You already announced to the world that I'm driving for you, but I'm not driving for you. I'm driving for another team.
That's quite a lot more dramatic compared to what we've seen so far, lah.
Yeah.
Even though what we've seen so far also included the son of the great Michael Schumacher, Mick Schumacher. Yeah, he drove for 2 seasons and then
Did he do well? Did
Yeah,
he do well?
Boliao. Nah, he didn't do
Not
well.
really. Oh no.
He didn't do well.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't.
Shame.
He made points like in 3 races in 2 seasons or something. I mean, I just browsed through the stats and it's like,
Right.
He
Scott,
is a very
Haas, right?
expensive driver.
Was Haas?
Haas, yes.
And Haas needed money, lah, right? The whole play was Haas, and then German driver was a
Is
requirement
Haas
from the sponsor. American?
How is Haas as far as the team rankings go? Are they like somewhere in the middle?
Middle of mid-tier.
Middle
Only
of mid-tier,
recently
struggling.
they are mid-tier.
Yeah.
They've
They're like
been
struggling.
always the back
Before that?
markers.
Yeah.
They were
Before
the
they were like
Minardi.
kind of like
They were the
kind of like,
Minardi.
that's tough.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's they've been better. The last one two season. Since the change of the chassis of the new 2021 car models, they've been better. Yeah.
And Haas team used to be what team in the past?
I can't remember. Do you remember from the video that you saw?
Oh my god, no. I mean the video was like a really convoluted Gantt chart of 20 projects for a program manager. I mean, like like it's like 10 teams, so you got 10 different Gantt chart, like colored chart, like different progression of like names and owner, and they're all stacked over each other. They're like, wow, okay, yeah.
Okay, I don't care that much, lah. So
Oh, but I peek at the current stats, and then it's like, so Haas, Ferrari now, and it's still Magnussen and Grosjean. Surprisingly, something happened there, I guess. Did I see it wrongly?
You mean the current
Magnussen and
season?
Grosjean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Magnussen and Grosjean. No, it's not Grosjean anymore. Magnussen and Grosjean is the one that you are watching.
Right now, okay. So Magnussen stayed on.
Magnussen didn't stay on, and it became
Schumacher and new fellow took over, ma. Yeah,
and
yeah.
also
Correct. Just some new guy.
the Russian dude.
Yes, some new guy that I don't recall. But then now
So
the
what
drivers for
happened
us.
for the first season, the Russian dude and also Mick Schumacher was running two of them. The next season, Ukraine happened, so everything about Russia was taken off from F1.
Oh wow! So,
Yeah.
so blanket any Russian or Ukrainian. Wait, Russian out lah, right?
Basically, Haas sponsors are all Russian. Ural Kali, all these are Russian companies.
I
So
never
they
knew.
got stripped off. So the more you watch, so you haven't reached there yet.
Yeah.
The season.
Okay.
So I'm giving a lot of spoilers really, and then that Russian dude got fired, lor. And then that's when what's his name again?
Magnussen,
Magnussen came back.
and now it's Magnussen and who? Because Schumacher is not there anymore.
Yeah, Magnussen came back for 1 season, and then Haas didn't renew
Schumacher.
Mick Schumacher's contract, and then now he's Nico Hülkenberg back into the race seat and running together.
Which Hülkenberg, he was with
Is it Nico Hülkenberg?
Ricardo. I think you're right, because I saw Hülkenberg's name, and then I was like, he was the guy with Ricardo in Renault. and then was it? Yes.
Nico Hülkenberg wasn't in Renault before, I think. I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. Ricardo was in Renault together with who? I can't remember.
I remember a segment whereby Ricardo and Hülkenberg were like talking together each other, and then there's a whole thing about Hülkenberg teaching Ricardo how to pronounce his surname with the German accent. So I remember that very vaguely. So it was like two drivers in the same team, and then they were having that play each other, and it's gotta be Renault, or, unless it is. No, at this point Ricardo hasn't moved to the other team yet, which is
McLaren.
I think so.
In your timeline, it's still McLaren.
Correct, in my timeline.
Yeah.
So okay. Do we squeeze this topic too much?
No, there's a lot of history. We are just like barely
No,
scripting
you're biased.
it.
You're biased.
We're barely scripting it. If I want to tell you about that, Daniel Ricciardo, since this season, right, he don't even have a car, and by the second race, right, he scored the same points with McLaren. That also that has cars, zero, no points
Wait,
with
what do you mean?
drivers.
What do you mean he doesn't even have a car?
He's not driving this season.
How did he score points if
He didn't. After 2 races, was it 2-3 races? He has 0 points. So did McLaren, 0 points.
Oh,
So that's the saying.
okay.
Daniel Ricciardo is scoring the same point as McLaren even when he doesn't even have a car.
Okay.
So McLaren debuted the new driver with a bad car. I mean, I think Oscar PS3 is pretty good. It's just that the car is just shit. So yeah.
I should really get up to speed with this.
It's really interesting, and Drive to Survive actually give you a lot of insight to get you back
Maybe
into
I'll
the whole
just
thing.
watch the
In nice
five,
small
watch the
chunks.
early ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really good for me lah.
Watch the
And now
last
I'm
one, 2 season lah.
Last one, yeah. Well, season 3 so it's quite interesting lah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting if you haven't been following F1. It gets a
Yeah, for
little
me.
bit
Yeah,
more
that's right.
like repetitive for me because the way it is, right? If you follow F1 closely, you leave the whole entire timeline in real life as the race unfolds. And then comes Drive to Survive. You rewatch
You already
again.
know it
Yeah,
lah.
you already know it and you
yeah.
rewatch it. So it's really, I think the show is done in a way for new people to get into the sport.
Yeah.
Because it's a very complex
obviously
sport.
it's work lah.
Yeah.
Obviously it's work lah.
So correct lah. Hülkenberg went from Renault to Racing Point, and then Aston Martin, which just converted, and then finally now into Haas this year. So it was him and Ricardo in Renault for that timeline period. Yeah, so it was him. So he
Happened
went
so
to-
long ago.
Okay.
It felt so
Yeah,
long ago.
and it's like say like musical chair. So it's like, hey, this guy is like it's the kind of thing that if you don't watch one episode of a Chinese drama and then you watch second episode, then you don't know what's happening. This guy died, this guy came back to life, and the kind of thing. But this is like happening over many years and a lot of money involved. Yes, I'm still learning.
Yeah, man. Like you go and watch those explainer videos, right? How Red Bull got into Formula One and how a bloody energy drink was sweetened.
I just saw that.
Yeah. And
Austrian pride.
Yeah, and became a Formula One team and all those kind of things. It's kind of interesting, lah.
Yeah, I've always thought Red Bull was very strange when they entered into Formula One last time. This was like Vettel's time.
Yeah, Vettel. Well, actually, if you watch that video, right, it precedes Vettel.
The first one was
They
the
were-
Austrian Ferrari driver.
They were investing money in sponsoring drivers to begin.
Who was the driver?
A former Ferrari driver. Yeah, they got it's an Austrian guy who was
What's
a
his
former
name?
Ferrari.
What's his name?
It's beyond me. And it's
This
not
is
a name that is
like in
anonymous.
the
Luca
1990s.
Say again?
Luca Badoa?
No, it's a very German name. It's a German guy. It's an Austrian guy. Yeah.
Because there were not many. You say Ferrari
German?
test drivers, is it?
No, he was a Ferrari driver. I don't know, was it test or is it actual?
There was a Ferrari
kind-
test driver in the early 2000s that was doing for the longest time. His name was Luca Badoa. And then,
I don't think it's that name.
yeah, then the Formula One drivers were always. I mean, they always played second fiddle to like the main drivers. Like I mean, for like Schumacher and Barrichello. Then it was Felipe Massa and don't know who else lah. So
Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen, yeah. But Kimi Räikkönen went away to do his like rallying, to scratch his like rallying itch for a while.
That's because
So
of
someone-
contract disputes.
Was it? Because of
Yes,
contract?
got to be some business contract dispute. That's why he went to rally for a year.
So it's not like Michael Jordan and baseball.
Nah, he didn't retire from sport. It was contract disputes.
But so Red Bull, if I remember correctly, and I think John might just help me out here. So they were sponsored. They wanted a Austrian or a German, Austrian driver, and then they got this guy from Ferrari to come. And then that time they were putting in money into, was it Sauber, the Sauber team back
Yeah,
then, or
Sauber,
this
they
before
were
they Sauber, right? And then
title
they told and
sponsor
said,
for
okay,
Sauber.
correct, title sponsor. And then eventually, like, you know what, if this is not gonna work out, I'm gonna start my own team. And the Toro,
Toro Rosso.
well, now it's AlphaTauri. So AlphaTauri being the secondary team of Red Bull. How does that work? So they got a primary team and a secondary team, and then they just now more invested, or they have got many hands in different pots, like a main team and a sub team.
Actually, I do not know. I don't know per se to
Right?
tell
Yeah.
you why they got a sub team.
And then you've got a case of like Peter Gasly, like go into Red Bull, the main team, and then didn't do so well in these few races, go to Toro Rosso, and then do so well, and then I
Pierce
don't know where to
Gasly.
see. Pierce Gasly, yeah. No,
Well,
Peter-
he's back to
Pierce Gasly.
Toro Rosso. No, he's
AlphaTauri.
He's in
Red Bull?
He's
No,
in
Red Bull.
Alpine right now. I think
Oh, okay.
he moved out already from the Red Bull Academy.
And Alpine is the previous what team? Yeah. See, it's musical chairs at its longest, like multiple year musical chairs.
Yeah, they are the same. They are the same bosses lah. Basically, it's just different names.
Who was the boss of Renault before it became Alpine? Or it's the same boss, is it?
Different. The fella got fired and not allowed in F1 because he was cheating.
The French guy.
Flavo
Yeah,
Briatore.
yeah.
He was so super
Briatore.
old, man, the guy. So in
So
Okay,
and
I'm
it's
not-
another
yeah.
dude already. I do
what
not
was it? Did he get fired because of the cheating scandal?
some scandal lah. What was his name? What?
Flavo Briatore. So it's like used to go out or either marry like Heidi Klum last time at one point.
What? Okay.
Yeah. It's like he pulls on this guy. So
A French guy and a German model.
Benetton.
Yeah, that's like a
Renault
very
F1.
challenging relationship. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's French lah, but yeah, he was quite a character lah in the
He sounds
previous generation of like what I assume the team principals.
So he's the guy
He
of
was,
2018, 20 up until 2020, right? Or whenever. I mean, he's the guy I'm watching
no,
now.
he's before one. He's
Before. Okay.
Flavo
Then.
Briatore was
It's
like
basically
Yeah, the name
Benetton
doesn't sound right.
and Renault.
early 2000s.
Okay, this is someone else. Okay. He pulls.
Yeah, he pulls.
So yeah, I'm actually willing to actually get back to the episode because this is where the very severe harsh crash happens, and I'm just there.
Briatore banned for life for fixing Singapore Grand Prix.
Oh yes.
I want to read that.
This one.
Wow. Okay.
So there were a lot of cheating scandals as well in Formula One, like in the McLaren, people were stealing Ferrari's IPs, or some engineers were leaking it to them. Those kind of thing, and McLaren got punished. I can't remember what was the punishment, and that was the era of Hamilton coming up. I think at the end of Hamilton's era in McLaren, and he is about to move over to Mercedes. Yeah.
He
And a
never,
lot
he
of
never
all these,
won a championship with McLaren, did he?
I think he did one.
Did he?
The
One or
one,
two?
the one that Massa lost
that
by
was- he was
1
still in
point.
McLaren,
That's
The
McLaren, I
era.
think.
Ah, okay.
Racing Point's vehicle when it came out when they first debuted, and then the whole hoo-ha about how the car looks very similar to Mercedes, that didn't get them any problems. I mean, it was all the
pink
hoo-ha, but then
Mercedes.
yeah, exactly. There was the whole pink Mercedes, but then eventually that didn't result in any penalty or anything, right?
I think
I mean, the show didn't feature, at least it wasn't prominent lah. But there was the whole hoo-ha, like suddenly, this from Force India, and then suddenly back to Racing Point, and then the car. Oh, we heard a lot of rumors, and then it looks like a Mercedes.
basically that's Minardi, you know.
Oh my god! Okay,
What is that? What is that?
Racing Point. And today's Racing Point is basically Aston Martin. It's actually Team Minardi, the one that Alex Young drove.
now it's Aston Martin, and it was Racing Point, and it was
So the
Force
name of the team
India
was Racing Point.
Yeah.
after Force
Minardi,
India.
Force India,
Oh my god!
and then Racing Point, and then
And
Aston
then
Martin.
Aston Martin.
Actually, now that I think back about, I mean, I didn't know there was so much drama going on in Formula One now. But hearing back and hearing about it and remembering back, so there was always controversy when in Formula One. There was always controversy. So even last time during the 1990,
Wow, so far back.
1994,
So far
there was also
back.
a lot of controversy one.
It's an old school Formula
That was
One.
Benetton Schumacher
was
days.
Benetton, Schumacher,
Debut.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
god.
last time in 1993 or 1992, Williams introduced a revolutionary suspension system where the car could change its suspension and customize it to every corner for a particular racetrack. So and that was something that was so good that it propelled so many people to to win lah. So at the time it was Damon Hill, is it?
I've got.
So FIA has a set of rules, and because rule is interpreted differently from people,
Right.
so they see where they can cut corners, see where the advantage is, and this is the way I
when
interpret.
technology advances, they
Yeah.
just take advantage of whatever loophole. Then
Yeah.
the following year they'll close it lah.
Yeah, the
So-
following year, exactly the same throughout all these years of Formula One.
Right. Yeah. So actually there are some Formula One world champions lah that actually probably if you put them in an equal car with other range, they probably wouldn't be that good one. But it's because they just so happened got a really good car. So like Damon Hill was a quite a good example because he got into Williams back in 1992, 1993 when they just started to exploit their loophole. So he became a world champion. So, but after they closed loophole, then gone already.
Hey, speaking of
So-
Damon Hill, right? He's the commentator for the sports right now, you know.
Oh.
So he's with Sky Sports together
Damon
with
Hill.
Jensen Button, right? So all these
Jensen
world,
Button's
Oh, I know that name.
So
I know the name.
all these world champion, right?
Martin Brundle? Is Martin Brundle still there?
Yeah, Martin Brundle still there. Yes.
Oh, Martin Brundle is classic. No, not world champion.
Yeah, he's not.
But-
Yeah, but they are there at
His
trackside
character's classic.
doing all this
Classic,
commentary for
Martin
Sky
Brundle.
Sports, you know. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, Martin Brundle used to race with Ayrton Senna, and he had
Wow.
he had he had very very first-hand opinion lah about Ayrton Senna's strategy, and so it was very interesting lah to hear last time lah.
You got to go watch those Hollywood movie. What's that one? Our Thor fella.
Yes.
Who?
Thor.
The movie's name, it has just one word with one syllable.
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't watch that. What you should watch is the
Senna.
is the
Documentary on
the
Netflix
Senna,
on
the
Senna.
The Ayrton Senna.
I
Is it on
think I
Netflix?
feel like it was. It's called Senna, right? It's just called Senna.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
called
called Senna.
Senna.
But what you need to watch is that you need to watch the director's cut. So the director's cut of that one is probably not on Netflix. That one will have interviews in between the scenes, and so they interview the different commentators. They interview Martin Brundle also, and so he was commenting about how aggressive and what goes behind Ayrton Senna's aggressive mindset when he was racing. So this is on the director's cut now. So yeah.
Hang on, so
That was
this
very good,
this is this like 90s era kind of thing, and then you were following
1980s.
F1.
Well,
No, like
Sarah
the just
is
like the
1980s.
Benetton Schumacher. I was for that lah. You were Eugene. You were following F1 when you were 12, 13, or you just
I
Okay.
started watching it when I was like
you
College
backtrack
days,
16 or 17, lah, but because it was still quite close to like
the time period.
the
Yeah.
Benetton time had just passed, and so it was people kept referring back to that.
It has to be the
So-
fact that Formula One was in Malaysia, Sepang,
Maybe.
So back then you watched it on Astro lah, or NTV7, you know.
and then we
And,
got exposed. Oh, this is Formula One, and then
Yeah,
from there,
yeah.
that
So
time
it
on.
really was that. It really was like the Malaysian Grand Prix when it first started lah. Or
I
shortly
remember being
before
in
it started.
Monash, staying in the halls of residence, and then going into the halls, those common rooms to watch.
Did you ever go to Melbourne Park to watch it?
No, but I cycled there
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's Albert Park basically, and the track is a makeshift Formula One track.
Right.
So there's public access, and I cycled there.
Have
And
you guys been to Sepang?
I cycled in Sepang before on the track.
Oh,
I've never been. Again, I've never bothered.
Oh man.
I've never been to
I've been to Sepang before,
itself.
yes, for Formula
Right.
One once, I think.
Also, you've gone there to see
Yeah.
a race before.
Yeah, I was in the main paddock some more, the grandstand.
Whoa.
But, you know-
I was in the hills lah.
That experience, I was like, from that experience, I say, Formula One is not something that you want to watch live.
Like,
just,
like
just
watch
watch on
proper the
TV.
whole race, right?
Yeah, because you have more screens, and especially now, this year, right? They have apps that you can download, and well, not in Malaysia, lah, but I think in Singapore you might have, where you can have other devices, right? Where it receive all the radio
Oh, the
messages,
telemetry and stuff.
yeah, telemetry,
Telemetry.
Wow.
the speed, and every single driver's cockpit video is available for you to choose which one you want to list. And if you want, you can just tile it in across the screen. All 20 drivers, you can see everyone.
Wow. So now they put the video cameras in like every car lah.
Every
So
car.
last
wow,
time it wasn't
yeah.
every car. Last
Oh,
time
really?
it was like random one.
Now
I think
it's
now-
for sure
now
every
every
car.
car.
And I think on random will be the helmet, helmet cam.
Oh,
So the ones like next to the eye.
okay.
So you can see the halo and everything.
Oh, this
It's
is
very
interesting.
difficult to see as what they are seeing. Seriously, well, because I don't drive, I have one. I find it very difficult to see the road. It's like how they do it, man.
Right in the center.
Yeah,
Already with the helmet and the visor some more.
yeah.
I did a search for Senna on Netflix, at least no Netflix Malaysia, not legal.
Is it
There's a no, so there's a Schumacher documentary. There's a go karts. Yeah, it's a go karts movie. It's like I think it's fictional. Who's Baba Wallace? Is it a fictional character or is it a real race dude?
Baba?
Baba Wallace.
Papa what?
It's a series and it's a documentary. And he looks like he's wearing some kind of, maybe it's a rally thing lah. Okay, yeah. So that's about it. There's no Senna. At least maybe he's taken down because Netflix got to pay good money for licensing third-party content.
I mean, it's considered quite old already, like documentary.
Really?
It's good,
Okay,
right?
okay.
It's been a while, that one. I think the very beginning of Netflix, it was on Netflix.
I feel like it was, yeah. 2010. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so no lah. I started watching in 1997 when it started with Sepang, and then they kept referring back to because at that point in time there were only like one or two world champions in the field. Not everybody is a world champion right now. So it's like from Alonso is a former world champion, and obviously all the main one. So last time it was only Mika Häkkinen and it was like Jacques Villeneuve. So then of course Schumacher was like really struggling with Ferrari then. So yeah, so they kept talking about what they did last time with Benetton and all this. So yeah,
So the last race that happened in Abu Dhabi, was not Abu Dhabi, not Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, basically. All three world champion was on podium, first, second, third.
Oh yes, you told it was Alonso.
First place
Hamilton
Max, first
and
place Max
Max.
Verstappen,
Right?
second Hamilton, third Alonso.
Yeah.
So kind of cool, that one. And speaking of the Halo, right? You remember, like I think we were the ones that watched from no Halo to the introduction of Halo, and how and the neck support system.
Like yeah,
Is
I
that
saw
called
that.
Curse?
The
Is it
curse.
called Curse?
No,
I have no
curse.
idea.
Curse is
not
actually
right.
kinetic something where it charges some battery and give you some performance boost. That's curse.
What's the neck thing called?
I
That
can't
one was also,
remember.
like last time they didn't have it. One.
Don't
Then
have
after
it,
a while,
yeah.
They realized it's very good. Then
They introduced the neck thing first, and then after
Whiplash.
that the Halo.
yeah.
And you see in Drive to Survive, right? In the next 1-2 season, right? Seriously, the Halo is a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver. It's crazy.
I saw there was a crash also. Like,
Well, the next episode already will probably explain more about the Halo and what it has done. At least what it will do.
It's amazing, the Halo, the whatever it is. It may look ugly
Saves
in front of a
a life,
driver, but wow, it saves so many lives.
It's a very fitting name, Halo.
Halo, yeah. So I'm looking forward for Azerbaijan this weekend for the continuation of the Grand Prix. Watch then we can talk
This
about it
weekend.
some
Is there
more.
any way to watch it free?
No,
Is there any way to stream it free?
no,
Okay.
never. I think, hey, you try lah. You try Formula One whether you can subscribe or not. Whether you get the
Oh, in
live
Singapore.
live, and then you after that when you can subscribe, right? I believe you are able to see a lot more screens, and the radio telemetry is very fun to watch.
Okay.
With that, I guess we have one whole freaking episode of it's okay lah, easy.
More than the usual length, I feel.
Wow, it's 50 over minutes on this episode. We are getting longer and longer. Any last words? Formula One.
I want to go watch the next episode.
I actually wrote down like a couple of topics that we can talk about when it comes to the show. Like I know usually you are pretty huge on Everyday Carry. We can talk about Everyday Carry.
EDC.
Yeah, and then you owe us an episode about coupons.
Extreme couponing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, you were clicking the thing earlier.
You didn't hear it, is it? Sorry.
I heard it. No, much earlier on.
oh, I didn't hear it. So yeah, I think we are getting the cadence. We are getting things to talk about. We didn't even think to talk about F1 today, but we did. So yeah. With that, I guess goodbye for now. Hopefully we will be coming on again in the next episode sometime in the next week or so. If you're watching us on YouTube, you will see 3 of our talking heads. You can scan the
Talking
QR
heads.
codes to download the podcast and just listen on us on Spotify or Apple
This side.
Podcasts or Google Podcasts even.
Here.
Yeah. All right then. Take care. Ciao ciao.
Okay.
Thanks everyone. Stay safe. See ya.